Good evening. The Hooves in Noel Steak and Kidney today were on at Rosehill. It was Cox Plate Day today in Melbourne. We had a fairly good crowd at Rosehill. A couple of more players in the betting ring, but it was still tough going. Now the track was given out good. It was upgraded from a good three to a good two. It was pretty firm underfoot, and the rail was in a normal position. The rail was normal, and the wind was out of the southeast. Helped the runners down the side and also up the straight. So the times in the sprint races were, I suppose, a little bit wind assisted. Now, the first race was hard to lay the winner here. Of course, when we get to the figures, on the screen it said 104.1 in the marketplace, only all under 100, 98 in the marketplace. This is what we gave in the first race. Rowie went up $3.20, got to $4. Queen's Elect never had a price. It went from $2.80 to $4. The winner, 5.5 star, went from $3.20 to $3.70 or $3.80. The next one was Crash Bradman, was very well back, $7 into $5, back to $5.50. And Wearing Wings was $8 out to $12, or $9 out to $12. Doesn't sound any good to me, but they left the winner with the captains, and the others, even though they got out in the market, they were backed on the way out. And Bradman, I suppose, was the firm and the best backed in the race at one stage. But it was announced that Queen's Elect was to be ridden with a trail in the field of 5, and it did that, sat in third position, and that allowed, of course, 5.5 star to stroll to the lead, and the race was over. The judge got the number out at the half mile and put number 3 in the frame. Now, race 2, this was fat. This was fat for the captains. 96.2 on the screen. Isn't that a ripper on the screen? But only 94.5 in the marketplace. But the winner, it didn't have a price. The winner, Never Can Tell, the top weight, having its first start. It went from $3.50 or $3.40, $3.20 even, it opened up, got out to $4.60. And the reason being, the bottom weight here, Menenko, it opened up $4 and got out to $4.60, but started $3.10. It was absolutely poleaxed. There was a stack of cash for it, and it was taken straight to the lead by Father Schofield, and sitting on its outside was the winner. And of course the favourite, Sammy's Girl, it was sitting third on the fence from barrier 1, tried to hold the lead but couldn't, and sat third on the fence. It went from $1.80 out to $2.80. Sammy's Girl, fairly hard to lay, and unfortunately it got beat 11.2 lengths. It ran last, but it pulled up with the old jam tart problems, and it's going to the paddock now for a spell to recuperate. And as I say, the winner, Never Can Tell, sat outside the one that they put all the money on, Menenko, and it strolled away after they turned for home and won easily by 2.8 lengths. There are number 5 ran second, coming from last out wide, Velocity Miss. Copped a bit of a check in the run and pull, and it was taken a bit wide on the turn, but the winner was by far the best run in that race, and run the race again, and it'll be a short prize favourite. Race 3 on the screen for the robots, 100.5 in the marketplace for the gooses. The bookies in the marketplace, well, got down to 94. I gave $2.50 this Avery Cantonese. I didn't think they'd take a shorter price as that, but they did. And not only did they take 6 to 4, $2.50, they took $2.40, they took $2.30, they took $2.25, they took $2.15, and they took $2.10. Started $2.10 on my board, and I thought it's only just got beat. It was a very good run, only got beat a half a length, and I suppose the reason it got beat was a superior ride from the master, the pumper Cassidy. He sat third on the fence, eased off the fence, turning for home, travelled up under those small ham and eggs of his. The winner wouldn't have even known it was on his back, and with those lovely hands as well. He strolled up, and he only couldn't have gone 1 inch faster, but beat the favourite by a half a length. The winner, it was extremely well backed. It went up $4. Hoi Aloni went up $4, got out to 5. Bookies reached for it very quickly, got to 5, but it got back into $4.60, even $4.40 towards the end of betting. Its stablemate, well, it didn't have a price at the finish, History No Hurdle, and it had every possible chance sitting third on the outside of the winner coming to the turn, but Jimmy was able to just ease off the fence, and it was a fairly ordinary run. History No Hurdle, it dropped right out, and it ran last, beaten 10.5 lengths. Its price fluctuations suggested it wouldn't do any good. It opened up $4.40 and only got out to $6.50, offering 94%. The captains did, as I said, and it got to $6.50 late in betting, and it was priceless and ran accordingly. There were only 2 firmers in the race, and that was the first and second, the favourite and the winner, Hoi Lonnie. Race 4, we saw on the screen 102.8, but in the marketplace only a skinny 98%. And you think this wouldn't have been something beaten? It would have been something beaten if it would have been beaten. Rebel Dane, the Avery, and had barrier 1, and going straight to the lead was Field Marshal. Another I own the lead, Gay Waterhouse runner. It went straight to the lead. Sitting on its outside was Stay Scutum, and it was on the fence, running third from barrier 1, Rebel Dane. And when they turned for home, Jay Collette, he couldn't get out of the pocket and had a bit of a bumping duel with Stay Scutum, and eventually pushed it out of the way. But when he did get clear, this very strong and well-backed third favourite, or equal second favourite or third favourite, Specific Choice, who was behind the winner on the fence coming down the side, but was able to angle off on the turn and get up outside the leaders and stroll to the lead and looked all over a winner, especially when the favourite was being held up in the pocket. But somehow, when the favourite did get clear, it showed a good turn of foot. So its last 2 wins most certainly weren't flukes. And this little nettie's got a bit of potential, Rebel Dane, and it was able to pick itself up and go out after Specific Choice, and who, as I say, looked all over a winner. The judge, he most probably was about to slide its number in the frame, but it got up inside at Rebel Dane and beat it by 0.1 of a length near the line. They got well away from the others. Coming from midfield, one off the fence was Mount Nebo. It ran third, beaten 2.1, had every possible chance. And a runner that will finish up running 6th, Tyrans, having his first start in New South Wales after racing in Victoria, was very well backed, went up $10 and got out to 13, but only started $8.50, and it settled down surprisingly in last position on the fence, and he lost all of his momentum behind a wall of horses. Well, not a wall of horses, but a couple of runners at the 1.5 furlong mark when he was wanting to make his run. And there's a good chance, even though it got beat 5.3 lengths, with a run, it might have actually ran third. But as I say, it was held up fairly well. It lost all of its momentum at a vital point. But the winner, there's no way in the wide world, if you run that race again, the favourite, there's a good chance it would be, well, it would be evens, no better, put it that way. Now, race 5, and what we gave in that race, I told you what we gave. And the winner, well, it went up $2.80, but it got out to $3.30, plenty of it, but did start only $2.80. Field Marshal, it was extremely hard to lay. I reached for it all the way. I did get something out of it. It was $2.70 out to $4.20. It was 7 to 4 to 13 to 4. Didn't have a price really, and it went up very safely. Specific Choice, the second horse, at $3.50, but it was reached for as well. Got to $5, and it was into $4.20, hard to get at one stage. Got back out to $4.60 towards the end of betting. The only other runner that there was a bit of money for was the bottom one, Stay Scutum. I did bet $21 like a fool. It did start, but it did start $17 on my board. Now, race 5, we saw on the screen, oh, hallelujah, positive figures for the captains. We on the screen said 106.8 in the marketplace, a bit less, about 102. What won this race? Well, this was a result for the bookies. It was always firm in the market. Talking about Mostiva, it's had 3 starts in Sydney now for 3 wins, and each time it's done the captains a big favour. It opened up $7 or $8, $7.50, and got out to $10 Mostiva, and was taken straight to the lead by Father Schofield, and he set a nice, good, steady pace. He had the clock ticking away in his head, and when they turned for home, he was going strongly. Sitting on his outside was Chevy, and you could see he was holding it and getting away from the others. And at the furlong, unless you look back, and there was nothing really making any ground, and it was the judge. I suppose he said yes. Well, I'll reach down for number 5. It did win. He was quite correct, but it only won by half a length. And running second, was the favourite Arenosa, who most certainly I think should have won. It missed a kick by a length, and then it settled back in 4th last position in between runners. And when they levelled out and got balance, it made up a mile of ground and got through the middle of runners. And as I say, if it doesn't miss the kick, it most certainly is a lot closer. It had barrier 6. There's a good chance it would have been running in the first 4 or 5, and it most probably would have got to the outside or in between runners and got the chocolates. But unfortunately, as I say, it missed the kick, and that's what happens sometimes when your luck doesn't go the right way. And it was very well backed. It went up 280. As I say, got out to $3.20, back into $2.90, but it was $3.20 again at the Death Rose of Scotland. It made up plenty of ground, but had its chance. It was they took $8.50. It started at only about $7. Berramilla, it was always firm in the market. It missed the kick slightly. The firm ground didn't suit it apparently, so the pumper has told the Stipes, and it settled back in last position, and it made up a bit of ground in the straight, but it wouldn't have won. And there was another runner in this race that was extremely very well backed, and that was Euphobia, number 9. $21 was given about this runner, and it only started $9. It was 20s into 8s, and it was it's at midfield on the fence, and it did get held up, and it was only it finished up. It ran 4th, and it was only beaten 0.8 of a length. So its run wasn't bad either. Maybe if it stayed in the position instead of hooking around heels, or maybe if it would have got out there earlier, it might have would have gone close to winning. But as I say, it run the race again, and Arenosa would still be the clear-cut favourite if we were able to bet on the race again. We come now to the 6th race, and there was 107.9 on the screen, and hallelujah, it was 102, a fat 102 for the captains in this race. Oh, it's like Christmas. Malavio, very well backed, $4.60 out to $5.50, into $4.60 at one stage, back out to $5, and it settled back well back in the field, and only plugged on down the straight, had every possible chance. The other runners in the market, well, Alma's Fury, I had to knock them back. Why I did, I don't know. It's easy now. Best price given about Alma's Fury was for $5.50, always firm in the market, but they how much to at $4.80 late, only starting $4.60. There was a bit of money for Charing Cross, although well, not really. It was $12 to $15. I never wound the $15 off. Cup of tea, it was labelled at $9.50, started about $9. And then we got down to Brian's Honour, gave $15 about it, and he started 13. And of course, we get to the winner, Aeronautical, who settled down third last on the fence, and it was extremely well backed. It went up $3.60 and got out to $4.20 and came into $3.60, hard to get late, although I might have had $3.70 on my board when they jumped. And this runner, and we all saw the way the race was run last start when it made up a mile of ground off a slow pace. Well, today they didn't run along that hard in front. Brian's Honour led. Brian's Honour is a very ordinary conveyance. It led with Vilkazi Street on its outside, and they got along at a nice clip. But when they turned for home and they fanned, just going straight through the high diddle was this winner, Aeronautical, and it won by a length and a half, beating Cup of Tea, who had every possible chance. It sat three back on the fence and got the split at the right time. But the winner gave it windburn at the finish. It's got an unbelievable turn of foot, this horse, and run this race again. And I can assure you, you wouldn't be able to get the $4.20. It'd be somewhere around about, I'd say, the 5 to 4 mark at the very, very best. It was a very good win. Now, race 7, we saw on the screen 104.8, and in the marketplace only an even spot, and only an even 100 given here, and it wasn't much good. And the second favourite won the race. It was always firm in the betting, talking about Our Hand of Faith. It's only won by a nostril, but that was enough to get it home. It went up $4.60. It was reached for. There wasn't one board, which I didn't see anyway, give $6 about this runner, but at least on the fence. I'm not too sure about the outer, but it was $5.50, so $4.60 up to $5.50, always very firm in the betting. And it got a good run midfield in between runners, got a split at the right time when they turned for home, and as I say, was just able to hold on and beat Loaded, number 5. $26 was given about Loaded, only beat a beer nose. Even though Loaded looked to appear to be 3 wide, it was half carting on the back of Oh Crikey, and not that his run wasn't good. It was a fair run. There wasn't much between them, quite a few of them when they hit the line, but its run was all right. And getting into third hole from well back in the field, easing off heels, not copying any interference. Well, it copped a bit of a check at the start apparently. The third horse, Sailors Fell Well, settled down second last on the fence, and as I say, after they turned for home, kept on easing off heels, and when it did get to the outside, it found the line by far the best and only got beat 0.3 of a length, and only 0.4 of a length away in the fourth hole was the Avery Saurus, who was fairly badly positioned in the run. It settled back third midfield sort of thing on the fence, but it had its chance when they turned for home, ridden by Jovial Josh Parr. He was able to angle off the fence and angle off the fence and get a split, and he only got beat, as I say, by 0.4 of length, but he didn't find the line as well as Sailor's Farewell, who came from behind him. Now, betting-wise, Iggy Pop, who was resuming today, went up $7, got out to $8.50, but only started 6. It was extremely well backed. I laid some good bets against it. Our Hound of Faith, I told you, was always firm in the betting. The favourite, Saurus, went up 280, got out to reach for quickly out to $3.30, into $2.80 at one stage, but back to $3 or even a little bit better towards the end of betting. And Brown Doubt was the only other runner that was in the market. It went up $6.50, got out, out to $7.50, back into $7. And even though it was wide, it had cover all the way. And the rider said it was a bit disappointing, and the 1500 might have been a little bit too far for it. And that was about all I'd say there. Run the race again, and you get that race again, and you get a few different results. Race 8, we saw 104.5 on the screen, and in the marketplace a skinny 97% here. And the winner here, Big Bonanza, it was extremely well backed. In the last 2 minutes of betting, there was only one runner backed, and that was the winner. It was always going to get a good run, of course, which it did. Talking about its fluctuations, it went up $6.50 and got out to $7.50, plenty of it. $7 every board, but plenty of $7.50 as well. And in the last 2 minutes of betting, it was $7.50 into $7 into $6.50 into $6. Very hard to get towards the end of betting. The favourite was Vel Rosso, who was a bit disappointing. It sat midfield. It finished up running 6th. Had beaten 3.4. It sat midfield. Was pulled out in the straight into plenty of galloping room. Had every possible chance, and its fluctuations, it went up $3.50 favourite and got out to $4.20, back into $3.70. Hard to get at one stage, but I was $4 when they jumped Vel Rosso. I laid it some good bets against it. And then we got down to Pentasia, who was the second favourite. It opened up $4. Well, it opened up $4 and got out to $4.60, back into $4. But I reached for it. Must admit I didn't really like it. And I was $5 for the last at least 2 minutes of betting. I think it was at a return $4.60, but I was $5. And it was my Blanc worst way. And at the furlong, even though it was well clear, I know the horse pretty well, and I knew where to be struggling over the last bit. And it's easy for me to say that now, but that's how I felt in the run. And Big Bonanza was the one going out after it, and he was able to beat it by 1.3 lengths on the line. And coming from 4th on the fence was the bottom one, Lee Esprit, who apparently threw itself down in the mounting yard and sweated up badly, but was still allowed to start. And it ran a good race. It was only beaten 1.5 lengths, had every chance in the run, but it might have run its race before it went on the track. It comes from Melbourne, this runner, and it, as I say, ran a good race, considering the way its antics before the race. And the way the race was run, as I said, Pentasia went straight to the lead. Lion Club looking at it, and slotting in behind the pair was Big Bonanza, letting them run along. And it was a good 3 to 4 lengths away to Lee Esprit on the fence. And when they turned for home, Pentasia, Father Schofield, it was able to, he said it was, when he released the ribbons, it took off on him and went from maybe 2 lengths in front to be all of a sudden, well, it would have been close to 5 lengths. It was at least 4 lengths in front at one stage. coming down to the furlong pole, but as I say, it started to get a bit weary at the finish, and Big Bonanza was able to run it down. They all had their chance in this race. There was plenty of pace up in front. I suppose it did make it a bit hard for the horses well back in the field, but still, with that fast pace, you're entitled to run on. But the winner did get a soft run and was always going to get that sort of run. There were other runners that were in the market that were backed. This is how they started on my board. Line Club, I laid it at 60 and 40 at one stage, but it ran $71 on my board. It was $3.50 out to $4.20, back into $3.70, back to $4 on my board when they jumped Vel Rosso. I had $31 Al's Goal on my board when they jumped and laying it. I had $12 Beref on my board after betting $15. Next to the Universe, it was still $11 when they jumped. We got to Rumour and Scandal. I had $26 on my board. I did bet 31 just towards the end of betting to lose 5,000. Big Bonanza. I had $5.50 on my board when they jumped. The winner, Pentasia, $5 on my board when they jumped. Brightest, $15 when they jumped. The next one was scratched, and we got to Giridium. They bet $19 at one stage. It was into 15. It was 17 on my board when they jumped, and I did have $26 on my board when they jumped the bottom one, Lee Esprit. Few of those are over what the SPs are, but that's the advantage of being at the track and not betting with the old fixed odds with totes or corporates. Or the best marketplace to be punting, where you get by far the best deal, is in the marketplace at the track. And anyone who's betting with the corporates, you can always get a better deal at the track. So if you are betting with corporates, try the track for a change. Anyway, I hope you had some luck today, whether you're booking or punting. We've got Wyong on tomorrow, so it all depends how tired I am. I'm out on my feet now. I might be able to do, or I'll try my best to do something tomorrow night. Good evening.